But I was having a most wonderful dream.
Now, I'm curious, who else used to watch Winnie the Pooh as a kid? I know I did. Sitting on my grandmother's couch, she only had that basic cable. It went hard. But I almost didn't believe it when I found out that Winnie was still going strong in 2023. I mean, I have 3 young kids and they barely know who Pooh is, so I was really surprised when someone asked me to do a Pooh-themed garland for their 1-year-old's birthday party. I can't be the only one, right? Well, anyways, if you want to see how this turned out, keep watching. But first, hit that like button or even subscribe. A custom backdrop was requested for this piece. She wanted an open arch, but with ears at the top that looked like the Pooh ears. I felt the idea was pretty cool, so I was on board and did a little Canva mock-up just to visualize what it would look like. My client was very detailed, which helped me a lot when it came to picking the colors. I used Gmar's Periwinkle to kind of represent Eeyore, Calisan Red for Pooh's red t-shirt, Decomex Orange for Tigger, of course, and Gmar Yellow for Pooh. I originally wanted Qualitex's Goldenrod for the yellow, but of course they were out of stock, so I used this Gmar Yellow, and it was actually very, very similar, so that's a good substitute if you ever need it. So I just blew up clusters of 6 and 8 and just kind of went with the flow. What I'm doing is I'm making these short pre-constructed garlands. This is 3 clusters, and I just have them stacked on top of each other. This will give me my base. This is what I'll use to kind of get started on site. And then I'm going to fill this bag up with individual clusters that I'm going to use to just kind of add on and build on. So yeah, I'm going to try this way and see how fast I can make this garland. So if this outfit looks vaguely familiar to my last video, it's because I filmed both of these in the same day. As a matter of fact, I had 3 events in the same day, which meant I was rushing for all of them. But it is all good because I got them done. When using my own backdrops, I like to add screws to the back to serve as my anchor point for my garland. So you might have seen me use that clamp at first, but that was just a placeholder because we actually forgot to put the screws in this time. Luckily, we were able to grab our drill and add some in, and I was able to then connect the garland to the screws using 260s. I formed my base garland going straight down, and then just took various clusters and started building them out, or kind of building them forward by tying them neck to neck. Once the bottom is as wide as you'd like it to be, you can start adding more clusters, kind of going up instead of out. I also used the 260 to tie the back of the garland to the side of the arch, just to kind of keep it more so in place in the back. And from there, just add, fill, and move. Add a cluster, fill a space, move the balloons around until they look good to you. I took a 3-cluster mini garland and used it to form the top part of the display. This was meant to just kind of go up and nowhere without any support. My client was going to be adding some pipe and drape curtains behind this setup, but still, it was meant to be freestanding, so I had to make sure that the balloons stayed upright the whole time. I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of times when I'm doing balloons, I tend to lose focus. And I think this is what happened to me here. If you look at this cluster, this set of clusters on the right, it's like I cannot figure out what I'm doing with that set. So I just kind of stop and try to do other things while I get my thoughts together. Just putting in some more quads here and there wherever I see an empty spot. You know, just trying to work it out and make sure that it looks cohesive. I thought a 17-inch would look nice here, so I went ahead and tied it in. I know I have to work on this gap between the red and the orange, but again, I lost focus and I'm back to this small cluster that for some reason I cannot figure out what to do with it. So I just threw it to the back because I was getting tired of it and decided to continue working on the front. Yeah, I still can't figure it out. Finally, I just decided I'm going to cut these clusters apart and tie them in individually instead of as one mini garland. Then it was time to add my fillers, and I actually added my fillers using 3 different methods. Don't ask me why. I don't know, I was just in a mood, right? So I tied some men neck to neck. I used rubber bands. Then I dug real deep down in my bag and pulled out some good old-fashioned glue dots. Yes, I know they are not the favorite, but there are some situations where they really come in handy. I'll often place my 5 inches before I anchor them in just to kind of get an idea of what they look like and if I like where they're at. You know, these colors, they're really bold, and I wasn't sure how they would look when they all came together, if it would be like a little bit too busy, too much. But I actually really like how it turned out, especially with the rest of the decor in the room once it was all finished. And guys, if you saw that big gap at the bottom by the orange balloons, don't worry, I took care of it. So what do you think? Did you find this nostalgic? Because it definitely took me down memory lane. But really and truly, the imagination has no limits when it comes to kids' parties. And if you need some ideas, check out these other videos. I think you might like them. In the meantime, if you found this video helpful or relatable, hit the like button or consider subscribing.